want to record, but now, okay, it's recording. Yay. All right. Can you go over your story a little bit? And then I like to take a lot of notes, so I'm just going to ask you some questions from there, but if you don't want me interrupting you, tell me ahead of time. If you don't mind, then I might.
Okay, no, go ahead and interrupt because it just helps me. I like it when you ask questions. So yeah, otherwise I do get I am so long-winded sometimes, and so I can talk and talk. And so yeah, feel free to interrupt me and be like, okay, Amanda, stop. Okay, so hi guys, thanks again for having me on. I'm so excited. So I'm in Arizona, so it's super bright out still. It's only, what time is it? 6 o'clock here. But so I have been doing this business for 5 years now. And when I started, I worked full-time as a dental hygienist. And I literally, you guys, didn't even know that you could make money doing something like this. It never crossed my mind. And so when we say, I know you probably have heard this before, this business fell into my lap, it truly did, because I wasn't searching for it. I didn't know that it even existed. I knew that there was things out there like Miriam and a couple other companies, but I didn't know that. But the funny thing is I went to a wrap party, and my friend, she was like, hey, I just had my first son, and I just finished nursing him. And she was like, hey, come over. We're going to do body wraps. And I'm like, sign me up. How much is it? And money was tight for us, even though my husband and I both have great careers. We had so much debt, which I'll get into in a little bit, but I was like, sign me up. I don't care how much it is. I want a firm, tight, and toe my tummy. And so I went there and I signed up as a customer, just loving the products. And so I used the products for a while. Didn't even know you could make money doing this. And so a little bit how our life looked is that I had our first son, Jax, and before we had our little boy, we have 2 kids now, but before we had him, I had that mindset, and it was just in my heart that I'm going to be a working mama. I'm going to work. I love dental hygiene. I love what I do, but I'm also going to be an awesome mom. And so as soon as I had Jax, our first son, God definitely put a different feeling to my heart, and he probably just laughed at me and said okay, this is my plan for you. But, and so I had that desire to be at home with him. I struggled so hard, just leaving him at childcare, and it was just hard for me. I cried a lot. I started to almost resent my husband for it, because I'm like, well, why do all these other moms get to stay home and I have to go to work? And, and so he didn't like it, and my little guy didn't like it. It was just tough. And so I desired to be at home. And when my patients would come in with their kids, they would they would be at stay-at-home moms, and I would just envy them so much, and just be like, man, I wish I could be a stay-at-home mom. And so it was just on my heart so bad to be a stay-at-home mom. I prayed about man, can I please can my husband's, career take off? Can he start making more money so I can stay at home? The reason I had to go to work is because when I went to school, I accumulated over $100,000 of student loans. And so we were just, pretty much how I was struggling emotionally, but financially too. We made a lot of money, but as soon as our paychecks, came in, they were gone the next day towards, bills and debt. On top of that, to have my son, he was almost $20,000 to have him because of our insurance. And we just had a lot of debt. And so I really didn't have a choice but to work. And so fast forward 2 years, my friend came over and she was like, hey, I just started this business. And she said she made $700 in her first 30 days just selling the wraps. And just that rat cash. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But I'm like, I don't know if I would be good at it. I'm not a salesperson. I've never done anything like this before, but I know that I want to make some money. So I didn't ask her too many questions. I just said, sign me up and I'm going to see if I can make $200 extra a month. And so I jumped in, and she was in our first week, and she was like, hey, let's come to this local event that we had. So within my first week, I went to what we call now a try it party. And so I went to that, and there was 15 people in the room, and I was so inspired. It literally just changed my complete mindset. I walked into there just thinking okay, how am I going to make $200 extra a month? And I walked out of there thinking I am going to freaking retire myself. I am going to come home to my little kid, and we want another baby. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom because of this business. And so that event, when we say like get to events, like it is just so powerful what that does for you. If you guys have been to an event, drop a 1 in the comment. If you haven't, drop a 2, because an event, you guys, literally it will change your complete mindset of how, what you might think of this business. And not only that, is you're going to be amongst a room of people who are like-minded like you, who want something more. And you're going to be around people who are, I like to call them, I say that they're better than me. Like I like to be around people who are better than me, who are more successful than me, because it makes me want to be that way. And so the event was just so powerful. And so I left that event and I got to work and I did exactly what those top leaders were doing. I followed exactly what they were doing, whether it got out of my comfort zone or not, which I would tell you, I am like more of like a shyer person until you get to know me. And so a lot of the things that, the top leaders were doing, it was out of my comfort zone. But I thought, you know what, if they're doing it, I'm going to copy exactly what they're doing, because obviously it's working. I'm not going to even question it. I'm just going to do it. And so I did. And within 5 months, within 3 months, I went diamond. And then 2 months later, I went double. And so at that time, I was making just as much as I was dental hygiene, and I got pregnant again. And I went down 1 day a week. And then after I had my second son, I retired. And so I've now been retired for 4 years. Just this past March, then I went triple and presidential. In February, I got my husband to presidential. And in March, I went ambassador. We've also paid off over $120,000 of my student loans. So all student loans are done. We paid off over $30,000 of credit card debt and all medical debt. So literally now we just have our house to pay. And, I think that just the crazy thing is just how it started. You come into this just needing that $200 extra a month for that cushion, right? But then you see like what this could actually do for you. But the thing is you have to believe that you can do it too. You have to believe that like deep down inside, if this person can do it, if Amanda can get to ambassador, if Emily can get to ambassador, then I can get to ambassador. And you have to know that you can, because it has been done before. So you know that you can do it. And that was my mindset throughout this whole thing, is like when I was struggling sometimes with my business, or, I lost rank at double diamond. And when I struggled, I just thought, you know what, this is normal. Like you're a business owner. You're going to have your ups and downs. But the thing is that you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you just keep going. There's no way you can fail at this. And so that was my mindset, is that, I might be struggling right now, or my team might not be working right now. But as long as I'm working, as long as I'm doing the steps that I need to do, I know I will get to ambassador. I know I'll get to, 2.0 ambassador, double ambassador. I know it's going to happen as long as I am doing the work.
Love that. I could not cut you off. Like I want to listen right now. But I do I have to take notes because I'll just forget.
Yeah.
Into one, but that's crazy, guys. Like, guys, 5 years ambassador. Like, even if it took you 10 years, like, 5 years, 10 years ambassador, or a lifetime where you're most likely not going to reach that kind of money, right? Like, we'll take it, right? But something that I wrote down and I started was you literally started because you tried to rap on. And something that's really important too is you didn't even know, like she didn't even know that she can make money, guys. And this is so crucial because for many reasons, I love enrolling distributors. I love enrolling customers, obviously, but I love connecting to people. I love inspiring them. Just some reason I just connect to talking to potential distributors more than customers. That's just who I am, but doesn't mean I don't like the products just as much as the business, right? But it is so crucial. I follow up with my potential customers all the time about the business opportunity. I'll sign them right on the spot. I'll have people who are customers asking me how they can cancel their order, their auto shipment for hair, skin, and nails for $30 because they can't afford it. And I'll bring up the business opportunity and they'll sign up that day or the next day for $99.
Wow.
Like, think about it. So that just goes to show, it's you, just like we sell the product, we tell people how amazing the products are. You got to do the same damn thing about the business. That's it, right? And we all know that it's worth it. But maybe if some of you are struggling to do that, do you think it's worth it? Right? It usually starts in here or in here. That's usually where it starts. But guys, like, she didn't even know there was an opportunity to make money. She just tried on wrap. So take advantage, hit multiple birds with one stone. That's what I do. You know, I always, whenever I talk to PLCs and, you know, I'm talking about the products, I will never hesitate whatsoever to always bring up the business opportunity. Multiple birds with one stone. I love that. Super crucial, the events, which is so funny because I'm actually doing one tomorrow here where I am. And it's one of the, I think it's the second one ever, maybe, that's ever done in Connecticut. And I have some girls staying here who are coming. So it is so, it's so crucial. And I feel like it's just so important and so hard to put into words how it is. You just got to get there, right? And I mean, conference and green carpet is so different. So what did you, when you first started, what month did you start?
So I started the end of October. So I started the very end of October.
Okay, so you went to like a one team, one mission, you were saying after?
Yep, it was a one team, one mission. And, you know, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would have just joined right on the spot if my friend didn't come over and she didn't show excitement. Like, I forgot to mention that, like, how excited she was, like, got me so excited. And you know how, like, they say energy is contagious, like, that is, I feel like, what made me just, like, not really question it and just be like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, because you're having fun with it and you're making money with it. Like, I'm going to do this too, you know? So, but yeah, it was like just a one team, one mission. There was 15 people in there, you guys. I remember I paid $10 to get in, and it was, like I said, it was very simple and small, but I remember there was a presidential who was hosting it. I don't even think she was like a sideline sister to where she's not even in the business anymore. But, and I remember she was so genuine and she was so like, she like just connected with the audience. And I remember she was like saying how much like it brought her and her husband home and what like this business did to her and her family. And it was just her story that really like was just like, oh my, like this is just mind blowing that this business brought her and her husband both home, you know? So, I mean, the events are just so powerful.
Yeah. I mean, not even just events, but merely just getting on a Zoom right now. One little simple line that someone can say could change anything for you. Could change everything for you. It's actually kind of funny because I joined right on the spot as well. So I feel like whenever I'm talking to my girls, and it wasn't in person either, I saw one post from Cassie. I texted her, I literally signed up. So I'm like, listen, there are more people out there who will sign up on the spot. They're out there, right? But regardless, you know, just keep following up, right? That's what we said.
Yeah.
You paid off over $100,000 in debt. Wow.
Yeah. I know. It's like weightlifted on our, like, because my husband didn't have student loans. He was in the Navy, so he got his schooling for free. But the crazy thing is, I think the thing that made it just the most stressful is that my older brother, we grew up single, my mom, single mom, 5 kids. And so my older brother, I couldn't get student loans on my own. And so he co-signed them for me. And so what happened is when I got out, it was on his credit too. And so it was hard for him to do certain things because it showed that he had $100 and something thousand of student loans when I was the one who had them. And so that was like the so tough for me is it was just stressful because I'm like, not only are these student loans affecting me, but they're also affecting my brother. And so I remember thinking like, if I didn't have this business, I would still have that same student loans. There's no way we would pay off the student loans. And so it was this business that allows us to do that, you know?
That's crazy. That's really inspiring. Congrats.
Thanks.
So also something that you really mentioned was just your environment. And I just kind of wanted to emphasize on that unless you have more to talk about, but it's so true. Like obviously just being in the environment of getting to a triad, getting to conference, getting to green carpet, but who are you hanging out with? You know, who are you who are you talking to on a day-to-day basis? I tell people, my girls all the time, you don't have to live near people who do this. Just get on a Zoom, FaceTime with someone. I don't know, it's just like taking that initiative, taking that first step, just focusing on the environment that you're around or the friends that you're hanging out with. Like, are they encouraging you? I was just telling my girls downstairs about how I've been editing out my Facebook friends, because I'm not really big on Facebook, but I just started to in the last probably like 6 months. I'm like, I'm friends with people who like I've been Facebook friends with from high school, and like there's just like no positive thing ever posted. It's kind of just a waste of time and a waste of energy. But it's crazy. I mean, it's your environment, what's the word? Not your vibe, but your energy. It's your energy, and we have so much crap that goes on in life that is draining sometimes, because that's life. So, just figuring out your environment. That's really important. Okay. So your husband is presidential too. I didn't know that, actually. That's really cool.
Yeah, he voted in February. And I think just like, well, he was going to go like that was our plan before they even changed like the charting. And then when they changed the charting, it was just like, okay, this is a no-brainer. Like, let's get this going. So, so he promoted to presidential in February, and then he's always been my biggest leg. And then, we went ambassador in March.
Okay. So guys, she's ambassador, and she also has her husband presidential. Like, that's crazy. Like, think about it.
I've helped my mom. My mom doesn't do this business much either, but you remember when I told you my mom has always struggled financially, just growing up single mom, and even still. And so I've helped her build up her business to double diamond. So she's a double diamond.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, think about the possibilities, guys. And your husband, you're working your husband's account?
Yep. He doesn't do anything. Yeah, he does commercial real estate, and it's awesome because of this business. Like, he will always do what he loves to do. He loves just that kind of stuff, but it's so nice because it's made him be able to just come home whenever. He does it very part-time, and so it's nice because then he's home more, but then he still has his thing that he does.
That's so inspiring. Think about it. Literally, the possibilities of your whole entire family, if you want to, never mind yourself. Literally life-changing. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Okay, so actually, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering right now, since I just brought it up, but do you have any advice as far as if someone maybe is thinking about building a spouse? Because for me, I tried to in the beginning with my fiance, and then the way my chart just worked out, I kind of let him go, and I worked with other people. And when people ask me about it, I feel like I'm 50-50. It also depends on, the enroller that you are and how serious you are about the business. And also just like, you don't want to choose a spouse over someone else also who deserves it. So like, do you have any advice as far as that and how to go about it?
Yeah, like you said, I think it really depends on the distributor and the person. But I remember when I got in, I remember they said like, go diamond and then sign up your spouse. And so that's what I did. And it was just so happened that after I did do that, I had another leg drop. And so I just started building him up to that emerald. And then he was that emerald for my double. And then he ended up becoming that diamond for my double, just how things worked. But I tell people now, I'm like, if you can, I would say sign up your spouse right away, because that's a $400 for you. And now you're getting another paycheck. You have to do a $400. You have to have 3 distributors for Ruby anyways, right? You have to have 3 people on your top line for every single rank. So why not make one of those boxes like your spouse? Because even if it's just going to sit there for a little bit, at least it's a $400 for you. And at least it's like something, you can get at least, I don't know, 60, 70, whatever dollars that is, depending on the BB. But at least it's something. And then if you have other people that are working, then you just work with them. You work with your team and you coach them and you lead them while you're still, you know, maybe building that third leg. But I always say it just really depends on your organization. But I tell my team, I'm like, if you can, sign up your spouse like immediately. Especially if you guys have any of those codes that are those $49 codes, like sign them up, you know, and then just put them in that third box, and then you can do it. Whatever works good for your organization is when you can start building it.
Yeah, I agree so much. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't mean that you all have to go right now and sign a spouse up or family member up and build them. You know, it's just something that a lot, you know, we don't necessarily always talk about, but it is an option, and or even in the future, you know, like there's people who have their mother, their brother, their sister, their spouse, like, you know what I'm saying? It's the possibilities. But also, like you said earlier too, when you were telling your story, it's more about the mindset that you can do it. Like, that's it. You know, so if I don't have confidence that you could do yourself right now, I don't suggest you sign up your spouse and try to do both, for example. You know what I'm saying? But it all starts with you and your mindset that you can do that. Okay. Anyways, so I kind of wanted to pick your brain because I know you guys are really big with post to post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So we're really big with cold messaging. Is that all you do is host to post?
Yeah, I would say host to post. I mean, I do work mainly through Facebook. And so I think Facebook cold messaging, you can't really get away with too much as far as like messaging people that aren't in your network. Where I think Instagram, I think it's a little bit more, I feel like you can do that. But for Facebook, I feel like I do pretty much all host to post. I get all of my distributors from my post and we do weekly opportunity events. And so my post, weekly opportunity events, and going live, I go live a lot. That's how I get my distributors. And I always ask, like you said, Emily, like I will always ask my customers. I will always ask my potential customers. Like I ask everybody. And I probably average about 10 customers, if not more, every month. And for all of my customers I probably average about 70 or more customers every month. And I do it all from host to post. So, and a lot, host to post and referrals. So it's going to be both, but, like, and some months are different. Like this month, I'm literally focused on so many distributors. So my goal, I always am like, okay, I'm going to get 10 distributors every month. That's just my goal. This month, my goal is 20. And so that may look like my customers might not be as much. It might range more of like that 50 mark of my customers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all host to post.
Yeah, so when you're talking about host posts, like we're literally Facebook 101 here. I mean,
okay. Yeah. So you guys mostly do Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, some people more than others for sure, but we're really, 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 really big on Instagram. But for me, for the last probably 6 months to a year, especially the last 6 months, I've been getting a lot bigger on Facebook. I enjoy Facebook because it's a lot more interactive, but it's also a downfall for myself as well because you have to get used to that. You know, you switch a little bit, you add in something that you do. I mean, whether it's, you know, where Instagram, for example, always have updates, like the stories just kind of came out within the last year, and I feel like it's been out forever, but it is something new. So anything new, you just have to get used to. But do you mind just kind of going over, honestly, it can be so basic. You can pretend like you're talking to a new distributor that just signed up, kind of just how you work the basics of Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, so I just keep it so simple, you guys. I'm not a green at all. So organization is just not something that I am good at, but I definitely have had to learn like certain systems. And so I really do have a good system down for host to post. And so what I do is it's a numbers game. So, and I started this, I was a triple when I started this. So it wasn't last December. It was the December before that. So 2 years ago, And so, so 2017, I think. And I remember it was November, like the end of November. And I remember people were like, okay, December is coming up. it's a slower month. And I was like, I don't want this to be a slower month. Like, I want my team to have awesome enrollments. And so I'm like, we got to step it up. And so that's when I really started doing host to post. I started it probably in that October, and I would see some results. November, I would see some results. And in that December, it was literally my largest enrollment month out of any month that I was prior in this business. I signed 99 customers and I think over 10 distributors. All of my customers were from host to post from the previous months, from like follow-ups. From like what I got. So, and I remember it was like New Year's Eve, and I'm like, I just want one more customer so I can get to 100. And I'm like, nobody's answering me. Like, everyone's out for New Year's Eve. I'm like, why isn't anyone on social media? And so I left that month with 99 customers. And so ever since then, you guys, I was like, I am getting 100 customers. And so that was my mindset every single month. And the month I went presidential in May. I finally I got 118 customers that month. And then ever since then, I'm like, okay, I can get 118. I can get this amount. Yeah, I can get this amount, you know? And so if some months I knew I was focusing more on distributors, I'm like, okay, my goal for customers, I would just set it up. My goal is to get 70. And so it just depends on my month. But for host to post, to kind of break it down, literally what I do is I will go through just my A through Z list on Facebook. So do you guys know how to print out your Facebook friends?
So we actually, if y'all are saying no, you don't have to, or you don't know how to, we actually, Elisa McGrath posted a live in our 10Xers group page on how to print them. So
okay, so yeah, so I print that off, but I only go through that throughout the month. I don't do it every single day. I just go through my Facebook. I go through A through Z. So like this, right now I'm on letter, I think it's G. So then I'll just go through all of my G's and I send them a simple message. And we do on our team, we do like a giveaway. So I just say, hey there, I don't know if you saw on my Facebook, but I'm doing a giveaway for a trip for 2. To get entered in, all you have to do is make a post. I can even send you the script, Emily. But it's just, I just ask them to host a post for me. And the post that I give them, it's normally I do TFX, I do the detox cleanse, and I'll do the coffee. Those are the only 3 I ever do because those are the 3 that I also always upsell. So my host to post may look like it's just for the coffee, but then when I get those customers, they're actually getting 3 or 4 products because I'm upselling them. So but literally I just go through and I do 30 messages at a time. So I'll just click and I'll send out that message to 30 people. Hey, would you mind doing a post for me? You don't even have to do a giveaway. You guys could literally just be like, hey, I am going for a huge promotion. Would you mind doing a favor for me? Would you mind posting this status on this post on your status? I would be so thankful for that, you know, and then you can give them the post. A lot of times people are just wanting to help you out. And so I send it in 30 people at a time, and it takes me like 10 minutes to do it. So I might do 30 in the morning, 30 in the afternoon, and I might do 30 before I go to bed. That way when I wake up, I already have people who are hosting for me. So I send that message out, and then when people start to respond and say, yes, I'll send it to you, or yes, I'll post it for you, then I just have a post already ready for them to do. It's one of those 3 posts or one of those 3 products. And then after that, then now I have people who are commenting on, you know, that post, and now they're my potentials. And so I put them in my notebook as my potential, and that way, you know, I message them, add them as a friend, and they're in my notebook so when I can follow up with them. But I would say the biggest thing is it's a numbers game, and you're going to get about 10% back. So if you send out let's just say 10 people that message, hey, would you do me a favor and post this for me? You're going to get about 2 people to probably respond to you. That's not going to give you much. So that's why I tell my team, I'm like, focus on getting 50 messages out. That's going to give you about 5 people who are going to host a post for you. Sometimes that might even give you more. Sometimes I'll send out 30 and I got like 10 people to host for me. So it just depends. But on average, I would say you're going to get about 10% back. And the way it's going to work is if you do it consistently. So if you do it one day, but then you don't do it for 4 days, you can't expect much action. Okay. But if you do it every single day, you're going to get so many people to host a post for you, and you're going to get so many potentials. And that's what I go for. Like, you don't have to be a mass enroller to get to ambassador. Like, you really don't. In fact, like, there's people who literally just get 4 customers and 3 distributors every single month, and they got into ambassador. And so I know what I can do. And so that's why I do that every single month. And then I coach my team to do that as well. Those people who like to be that mass enrollers. And I have, sometimes my team are getting like more customers than I am. So, but I will say that it has to go both ways. Like, we can't just get customers and not distributors. Like, distributors are like, customers are that bread and butter. Like, they are our paycheck, right? But our distributors are the foundation of our business. Like, we have to have the distributors in order for them to grow. We have to have distributors in order for our business to grow, is what I mean. So you have to have both. And so this month, because I am focusing on more distributors, I am doing a host to post for distributors to getting that opportunity out. And so this is my first month I've been doing it, and it's been awesome. So it's a numbers game, just like anything else. So just like if you guys cold message on Instagram, it's going to be the same thing, but now you're just changing your verbiage up a little bit, and you're having people post for you. And then I always write down, like, I always stay organized. So in my notebook, I'm not like the most, I don't have mine with me, but this will work. But this was from last year. So what I would do is I would write like, so this is like January potential distributors, January, and then I would have one for January customers, potential customers, January host to post. And then I write down all of my customers. So these are all my customers from January. And that way I can keep track of them. But I always write down the people who did a host to post for me. So then I can go back and I can either follow up with them, or I could be like, hey, you just got 2 people to comment on your Facebook or on your Facebook post. Like, you would be so amazing at this business. Like, do you want more information on how you can make money? You know, or I would be like, oh my gosh, like, you just got so many people, you know, to comment. You can make commissions off of everyone who orders. Like, would you like more information? They are always like, yeah, how do I make money off of them? You know? So it's just all around. You have your people who are hosting to be potentials for you. And now you have their network is going to be a potential for you. And what I also love is, since you guys are, you know, you guys are mostly Instagram, now it's going to help you guys also build up your network in Facebook, because not only is it going to give you potentials, but it's also going to grow your network. So you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I love that. Yeah. So that's how I'm transitioning a lot of the girls, because for me, when I first started, I was like, I really want to do host to post. And I started it as like an actual post on Instagram, and it just like didn't fit for me. Like, I know some people do it. So I just started in the last few months to do stories, and that's amazing. Like, I get cleansed texts to my phone a lot, you know, and I love that. But a lot of people get stuck and they're like, well, how do you get so many comments on your post on Facebook? And I'm like, a lot of things. Like, I'm hitting multiple birds with 1 stone, just like you were saying. And it's about getting creative, guys. So, you know, if I ask someone on Instagram, for example, to host a post, or even as a follow-up, sometimes like old PLCs who aren't answering me, I'll ask them the host post, hey, random question, ask them the host post. I'll tell them you have to add me on Facebook and comment on my last post or something like that, and tag a friend, you know. And just by doing that and getting more network from what you have to Facebook, and then they're adding you there, tagging a friend, and then you're having them host a post there on Facebook, their friends are all posting, you're adding all their friends. Like, I get it can be a lot, but honestly, it's just kind of working smarter, not harder kind of thing, you know. So it all comes together, and it's just with practice. It's kind of like when you first start, but not as intimidating. Just
yeah.
kidding.
And I love that too. Like, I'll make a post a couple times a week, and I'll be like, hey guys, like, I have 10 samples of my skinny coffee to give away. You know, drop an emoji if you want a sample. And so what I would do is then I would send them a message, and I would say like, hey, thanks so much for commenting on my post. Like, I would love to give you a sample of this. Here's the deal. If you make this post on your Facebook page, I'm going to put you in, you know, in my entry for my drawing. And on Friday, I'm going to give away 10 samples. And so they go into a drawing. So I don't give everyone a sample of it who posts for me, but now I have a group of people who I can put into a drawing, and I can pull out, you know, 10 people to send one sample of the keto coffee. And now I have 10 people that are now potentials for me for the keto coffee because they just want it, So you can like literally pull different things from just one post. I have now all these people hosting a post for me, but now they're my potentials. And what is so cool is like sometimes like I had a person sign up yesterday. She was actually one of my customers, and I had her do a host to post, and it was for the opportunity. And it was just simple like, hey, my friend Amanda is looking for 5 people who want to make $500 extra a month. Drop an emoji down below. And she was like, she messaged me back and she was like, well, what if I want to be one of those 5 people? And so now I have her asking me about the business, and she just signed up. So it's awesome because some of the people that you message for them to host a post for you, when you actually give them the post, like the TFX post, I have so many people who host for me and they're like, well, I want that. I want those pills, like I want that. And so now they're my customers too. So it just works. There's just so many ways to work it. But again, it's a numbers game and it's consistency. So if you want to see those results, if you want to get, let's just say 10 customers a month, you just have to be consistent with whatever you're doing. And you guys know that whether it's Instagram or Facebook, this business is consistency. And like I said, when I first started doing the host to post, like don't get discouraged if all of a sudden you don't see instant results. Because remember, like if you guys just start doing host to post, remember everything that you're doing this month, it's going to fluctuate. It's going to pour into July and August and, and so forth. It's going to pour into those following days and months. And so just know, like, you might not get a lot of results this month. You might not get a lot of results next month, but I guarantee on that 3rd month, you're going to start seeing results. And I guarantee if you ask like multiple people, if you ask like a lot of people every day, you're going to get instant results. You're going to get instant customers and instant distributors.
Mm-hmm. Love that. I mean, she basically just said it, guys. Consistency. That's it. That's it. And that's honestly what the hardest thing is. What we do isn't easy, but it's kind of easy. Like what we need to do physically, what we're doing is easy. But this business is 20% skill, 80% mindset. You just have to decide that you're going to be consistent and decide that you're going to do it and decide that you're worth it and decide that you're going to just be successful no matter what. And it's just going to happen that you deserve it. And that's really it, right? That's it. You'll get there with consistency. All right. I love that. I mean, honestly, any questions that I had, you answered them already. Does anyone have any specific questions? We can finish it off with that. If not, I'm going to end it because that was just really good. And you gave me a lot of info. Gave us a lot of info. No questions? Thank you so much again for getting on. I know it's early there.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. So
I was just actually in Arizona.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. I was with Nyara actually. So.
Oh, does she live here?
No, she lives here, but we went on a little girls trip together.
Oh, that's awesome. What part of Arizona?
We're in Scottsdale.
Oh, cool. That's so fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, it is.
It is hot. Well, it was okay. It was hotter in Connecticut than in Arizona when we went.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I didn't mind it.
It's like dry heat, so it's actually like not that bad. And then you're either at the pool or you're inside, so it's it's not bad at all.
All right, hold on. We got a question. How many different host posts do you use? Well, she said 3. So she said the coffee, cleanse, and Thermophyte X.
Yeah, and I would say, and then you can do like the opportunity too. But I would say the biggest thing is like, what products do you use, right? Like, what products do you love? Like, if you are big into the skincare, do the skincare. Like, I know Marwa she's an ambassador. She does skincare. She does collagen, and then she like upsells that to like 4 or 5 different products. So do whatever like fits you and whatever's like good for your network. For me, I just feel like I'm obsessed with the cleanse. I love the like our weight loss products. Like I love like those products, and that just seems to fit like my network the best. So that's what I do. And so figure out like what works for you, and then, just stick with that. It's just, I would pick one product to do for that entire month. Like I wouldn't switch them, right? So either do the coffee for the entire month or do the TFX for the entire month. That way you can really see what goes good with your network as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. How do you go about choosing pictures for them to post? You just do like a status, right?
Yeah, I don't do pictures because, yeah, I just do status because, again, like we want to bring curiosity to our posts and we want to bring curiosity to our network. And so if you do a picture of a before and after picture, it's going to be a corporate approved one, right? And so it's going to have It Works on it. And so I don't want them to then go and be like, oh, what is this product? I'm going to go and look it up. And then they just go to the website and order. Like I want them to order from me, and I want to be the one to give them the information instead of them going to look it up. So I just do a status.
Perfect. Love that. Can you give a brief example of the type of
I can send you like one of the TFX one that I use. Let me just, so when they say like, yes, I will host a post for you. Let me see. I just sent them this. Oh, my text replacement's not working. I'll just send it to you, Emily, and then you can send it.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'll post it in my group and stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, but I just keep the post so simple, you guys. The simple, the better. Just like with this business, the more simple we keep it, the better. Like the minute we overcomplicate things, or the minute you like have somebody post like a huge paragraphs, you know, they're gonna get lost and people aren't gonna listen. So I keep it super simple. The other thing is like if you have people post for you and you're like, man, they're not getting any likes or comments, you have to look at who's posting for you. So the people who like literally don't get any comments or likes are those people who are posting like every 5 minutes, like those funny, you know, GIFs or like videos, or, you know, they post every 5 minutes. And so, or it's people who have like 200 friends on their Facebook, you know, so you have to look, so don't get discouraged. I guarantee like you just find like those couple people who just have an awesome network and you'll get tons of people from them. So it's just like that numbers game, like I keep saying, but yeah, just keep it super simple.
Perfect. Favorite self-dev?
The what? Favorite self-development. So I'm super big. I'm super big into self-development and mindset. I would say it, like when I started doing these host of posts, like that's what changed was my mindset. And that's what changed me from getting an average of 5 to 10 customers a month to like 100 customers a month and 10 distributors. And so it was all my mindset. My work really didn't change. I've always been consistent and I've always just done the work. It's just the mindset. And so I would say the biggest thing that has changed myself completely as well as like the business is the Miracle Morning. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that or if you guys practice it, but it's Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And you can just get the original version, but literally it is something where, especially if you guys have kids, even if you don't have kids, like I recommend doing this, but you wake up and how you wake up is how you start your day. So if you wake up to your alarm clock and you're rushing and you're like doing all this, you know, trying to get to where you need to go, your entire day is going to be that way. And so, you know, the whole purpose of this Miracle Morning is that you wake up to yourself, you wake up to your mind, your body, your spirit, and you get yourself in line and you fill up your cup first before you fill up the world, before you fill up your kids or your spouse or your boyfriend or your, you know, before you fill up other people, your team. And so I would say that was the biggest, that's been my biggest self-development that has just completely changed me. And then the other things I do, you guys, I'm constantly, when I'm in the shower, I listen to an Audible. When I wake up, I read a book, like a part of a book. I'm a really slow reader, so I like to listen to Audible. When I'm in the car, like I listen, like on the way to my kids' karate, I was listening to Jade Hooper. You know, I'm always listening to something, always trying to fill my cup up. Like yesterday, I had a really nasty person, it was a distributor who just signed up actually, and just a horrible situation, and it totally like made me so sad, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let them bother me. So I just put on some self-development and, you know, I got my mind back. And so, you know, little things that I just feel like it's just so important when things, you know, hard things come at you, you have your self-development that's going to pull you back and be like, okay, you're going to be okay. You know? So, I love anything like John Maxwell, but I would say Audible, YouTube. You can go on to YouTube and just type in motivation. You're going to get something. Anything that you can do for at least 15 minutes a day, if not more. It's Elrod, I believe. Let me type it in here. Elrod, I'm probably totally saying that wrong. But I would say, I remember when I first started doing self-development, and this is why I started, because I remember it was Carrie Young. She said, your paycheck is parallel to your self-development. So if you are not doing self-development, don't expect your paycheck to go up. But if you want your paycheck to go up, then you better increase your self-development. And I truly believe that. This business is literally just so much mindset and then that tacked on with that work. Like Emily was saying, our work is so easy that we do. It's not hard at all. What is hard is our mind. What is hard is getting over ourselves. What is hard is our doubt, our fears, other people, outside sources coming in and affecting us. And that's what brings us down. That's why people quit. That's why people stay stagnant in their business, you know, all kinds of reasons. It's their mind. And so, you know, you guys do your self-development, and I promise you, like I said, it's parallel to that paycheck. And I honestly believe that. As soon as I started doing that, I went from triple to presidential to husband presidential to ambassador all within a year. So
I love that. Okay, wow. That was a great way to finish it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
All right, bye.